Cześć, jestem Michał. Hi, I'm Michael and welcome to my channel World in Polish. In this channel we learn together Polish language, or if you are traveling to Poland and you want to learn few phrases, that's channel for you as well. This video is part of the videos or playlist for beginner learners of Polish, and that's why I will use English to explain Polish words and phrases. If you are more advanced, I encourage you to use my playlist for intermediate and advanced learners, or also pronunciation drills. Let's start talking about means of transportation. In Polish, that means środki transportu. Środki transportu means means of transportation. And we'll talk about different words and phrases. Words is słowa and phrases is wyrażenia. Before we go to specific words, I want to emphasize 5 most important phrases and words. Dzień dobry, good morning. Do widzenia, goodbye. Dziękuję, thank you. Proszę, please. And przepraszam, which in Polish means both I'm sorry and excuse me. When you enter any means of transportation, especially train or bus or tram, sometimes there are people who check your tickets. And if that happens to you, they are likely to ask you proszę o pana bilet or proszę o pani bilet, which means your ticket, please. To emphasize and to be polite, they usually address you per pan, pani. Pan if they talk to a man, and pani if they talk to a woman. Again, proszę o pana bilet or proszę o pani bilet. Sometimes they may say poproszę instead of proszę, which it is the same. Basically means please. Proszę o pana bilet, proszę o pani bilet. Here you have a list of different means of transportation, or the most common means of transportation. Let's learn those words. Samochód. Samochód is a car. Autobus. Autobus. Bus. Tramwaj. Tramwaj. A tram. Metro. Metro. Subway or underground train. Pociąg. Pociąg. A train. Samolot. Samolot. A plane. Rower. Rower. A bike. Statek. Statek. A ship or cruise. Now, if we want to say that we are going using the particular means of transportation, you would say jechać samochodem, to go by car, jechać autobusem, to go by bus, jechać tramwajem, to go by tram, jechać metrem, to go using metro, jechać pociągiem, to go by train, lecieć, you wouldn't say samolotem because lecieć means already to go in a plane. Jechać na rowerze, to go by bicycle. Płynąć statkiem. Płynąć statkiem, to go by boat or by cruise. And finally, to iść. Iść pieszo, which means to walk. Iść pieszo. Now, if we are using means of transportation, usually we go somewhere or we coming from somewhere. To go somewhere, we may say idziemy, jedziemy, lecimy lub płyniemy. Idziemy, we walk. Jedziemy, we go, usually bus, train, or in a car. Lecimy means in the plane, and płyniemy by boat. If we want to emphasize that that will happen in the future, we add that small prefix that you see in the bracket, and that would sound pójdziemy, pojedziemy, polecimy and popłyniemy. And to say gdzie popłyniemy, gdzie polecimy, if we use names of the cities, it would sound like pójdziemy do Warszawy, pojedziemy do Rzymu, polecimy do Nowego Jorku, popłyniemy statkiem do Chicago. If we want to say that activity happened in the past, we would have said poszliśmy, pojechaliśmy, polecieliśmy, popłynęliśmy. For example, last week we flew to New York. W zeszłym tygodniu polecieliśmy do Nowego Jorku. If we want to say we went to Warsaw, poszliśmy do Warszawy. If we want to say 2 months ago we went by boat to New York, we would say 2 miesiące temu popłynęliśmy do Nowego Jorku. Now, also we might say that we came from somewhere instead of that we went somewhere or to. So to say that we came from somewhere, the question would be where from did you come, right? That question is skąd. And to answer that question, we would say z Warszawy, z Rzymu, z Nowego Jorku, z Chicago. Of course, in full sentence, you don't emphasize that strong pronunciation of z. So let's say it in the full sentence. Last week we came from Warsaw. W zeszłym tygodniu my przyszliśmy z Warszawy. Now we came from Rome by, let's say, car or bus. W zeszłym tygodniu przyjechaliśmy z Rzymu. W zeszłym tygodniu przyjechaliśmy z Rzymu. Now we want to say we flew from New York last week. W zeszłym tygodniu przylecieliśmy z Nowego Jorku. W zeszłym tygodniu przylecieliśmy z Nowego Jorku. Finally, if we want to say that we came by boat, maybe it doesn't make sense in this case because I want to use Chicago, but let's say that. W zeszłym tygodniu przypłynęliśmy z Chicago. W zeszłym tygodniu przypłynęliśmy z Chicago. Probably it will make more sense with New York. So let's say that. W zeszłym tygodniu przypłynęliśmy z Nowego Jorku. Now, this is very busy slide, so let's focus on few things here. So I wanted to teach you here how to say certain activities of movement, whether you're walking, going, flying, or going by boat, in the present tense, future tense, and in the past tense. And also emphasize that sometimes there is a difference depending on whether we are talking about woman conducting this activity or a man. So let's first learn conjugation of the verb to go in present tense. We would say ja idę, ty idziesz, on, ona idzie. My idziemy, wy idziecie, oni, one idą. In past tense, it will, in future tense first, it would sound like that. Ja pójdę, I will go. Ty pójdziesz, on, ona pójdzie. My pójdziemy, wy pójdziecie, oni, one pójdą. And finally, in the past tense, it will be like that. Ja poszedłem, or if you're a woman, you will say ja poszłam. Ty poszedłeś, ty poszłaś. On poszedł, ona poszła. My poszliśmy, my poszłyśmy. Wy poszliście, wy poszłyście. Oni poszli, one poszły. So as you see in past tense, it's very important that you differentiate between whether we are talking about men or women. Again, similar exercise using verb to go, but when you use to go, when you use it for going in the car, train, or bus. In present tense, ja jadę, ty jedziesz, on, ona jedzie. My jedziemy, wy jedziecie, oni, one jadą. Using future tense, we would say ja pojadę, ty pojedziesz, on, ona pojedzie. My pojedziemy, wy pojedziecie, oni, one pojadą. And using past tense, again, we'll have different forms for man and woman. So let's do it again. Ja pojechałem, ja pojechałam. Ty pojechałeś, ty pojechałaś. On pojechał, ona pojechała. My pojechaliśmy, my pojechałyśmy. Wy pojechaliście, wy pojechałyście. Oni pojechali, one pojechały. And another one with the verb fly, lecieć. In present tense, ja lecę, ty lecisz, ona, on leci, my lecimy, wy lecicie, oni, one lecą. With the future tense, it will sound like that. Ja polecę, ty polecisz, on, ona poleci. My polecimy, wy polecicie, oni, one polecą. And in past tense, again, we have difference depending on whether it's a woman or man. Ja przyleciałem, ja przyleciałam. Ty przyleciałeś, ty przyleciałaś. On przyleciał, ona przyleciała. My przylecieliśmy, my przyleciałyśmy. Wy przylecieliście, wy przyleciałyście. Oni przylecieli, one przyleciały. And often if you using means of transportation and you want to buy a ticket, you need to ask for it in the ticket office. And typical question you would ask, or rather the way how you would ask it, you would say, poproszę bilet na pociąg, poproszę bilet na samolot, or poproszę bilet na tramwaj. Which means, please give me a ticket for a train, for a plane, or tram. And the frequent questions that cashier may ask of you will be na kiedy, for when, dla ilu osób, for how many people, and jaką klasą, which means in what class. And to answer question na kiedy, you may say na poniedziałek, for Monday, na jutro, for tomorrow, na pojutrze, for a day after tomorrow, or the full date you may use, and you can say na 21 stycznia, for 21st of January. Dla ilu osób, for how many people, you may say dla jednej osoby, for one person, dla dwóch osób, for two, dla trzech osób, for three, dla czterech osób, for four, dla 5 osób for 5. Or you can answer that question dla ilu osób for how many people, saying 1 bilet, 1 ticket, 2 bilety, 2 tickets, 3 bilety, 3 tickets, 4 bilety, 4 tickets, or 5 tickets, 5 biletów. Jaką klasą, in what class? You can say pierwszą klasą or w pierwszej klasie, which means in first class. Drugą klasą, or you can say w drugiej klasie, which means in second class. Or you can say I want the cheapest ticket. And you would say that poproszę o najtańszy bilet. Poproszę o najtańszy bilet. That's all for today. I hope you like this video. Please hit the like button, and if you're learning Polish, you will find many more useful videos in this channel. Thank you. Dzięki i do zobaczenia.